Paldea Evolved is a very interesting set. And to me, it sort of is resembling a little bit of Fusion Strike to me. I don't think it's at Evolving Skies level, but it shows some signs of being something like Fusion Strike. Now, this is the most expensive booster box of the Scarlet and Violet era, at least so far. So technically, maybe you could put it as like the Evolving Skies of this era. But obviously, there's a lot of good sets that have just been released, like Destined Rivals, which hasn't had the time to age. So obviously, it's a little bit hard to say that this is like an Evolving Skies level box, but it is the most expensive one, right? But just how it's acting right now, comparatively to some other older sets that are more comparable, like Obsidian Flames, Paradox Rift, Temporal Forces, Paldea Evolved is pulling away from all these sets by far. And we saw some signs of Fusion Strike being a little bit of a better set, a little bit more sought after, when all the booster boxes from Scarlet and Violet era, when they were all going close to 400, like Chilling Reign, Lost Origin, right? When all those boxes were around all the same price in the low 200s, when they started to creep up to that $400 range, Fusion Strike surpassed 400 and went to 500. And from there on, it's just kept pulling away. Right now, Fusion Strike booster boxes, they're selling for $750. Lost Origin is selling for around 600. Chilling Reign is selling for around like low to mid 400s. So I think this, early on, now, I mean, it's not even that early. I mean, the set is a little bit over 2 years old at this point. It was released in June, so now it's July, so it's been a little bit over 2 years. It's already showing signs that it's going to probably pull away from these other sets, and it already has been. I mean, this, like I said, this is the most expensive booster box, so it's kind of hard to say that this is pulling away when it literally has been, but this is just showing a lot of signs that this box is going to be such a great box to have in the future, because this set, only being a little bit over 2 years old, is extremely scarce. And when I say that, I'm not exaggerating. There's not a lot of supply in the market. When you take into account TCG Player and eBay, there are not many listings. I know that sounds crazy to say, but it's what it is. And it just shows signs. This set, I mean, also, you got to think about it being this old, probably not going to get printed in the ground. It's already gotten reprinted like 2 times. I mean, this is probably going to be pretty expensive, I could see, in the next couple of years here. And maybe, like I mentioned, I mean, I said it might not be Evolving Skies level, but at this rate, it's growing at the scarcity. It's kind of crazy to say it, but it might maybe get to that level. But I think Fusion Strike is a better comparison. But it's just crazy how scarce this box is. Seriously, I couldn't believe it myself. When I looked at the supply, I'm like, I have to make a video about this, because when you actually look, it's alarming how little Paldea Evolved booster boxes are really out there, and even the ETBs are very expensive as well. So here's the culprit. This is the reason why this set is so expensive. The Magikarp. Now, obviously, there's a bunch of IRs in here that are also really cool. I mean, we'll pull this back up here. The Iono is really cool. Raichu, Tyranitar, all these artworks are really nice, and it's a really good set. A lot of IRs, ports aren't that difficult. It's pretty good, right? But this is the main card. This is the reason why this set is so expensive and why it's probably going to perform extremely well compared to some other sets. The Magikarp. This illustration rare is probably one of, if not the most iconic illustration rares from the Scarlet and Violet era. And obviously we know how this card has been performing recently, especially the graded cards. It's been going crazy. And if you look at the raw card, you can see in just the past month, because obviously the PSA 10s have been going for crazy amounts. Well, I'll show you how much they're selling for. These have also gone up 22% within the last month. So these have been going up, while a lot of cards, like for example, Prismatic Evolutions, Surging Sparks, Journeys Together, all those sets have been going down in value. Paldea Evolved continues to go up. And there's not many cards that are doing this, to be honest, right now in this market. Even 151, I don't believe the cards are going up. So this is one of the anomalies of Magikarp, and it just shows the strength. I mean, this card has been pretty popular for a while now, and it just continues to perform. Now, when you do look right now at the PSA 10 prices, you can see they've been consistently selling for over $2,000. We had some times where they were selling for like close to $3,000, which was kind of crazy, but still, they're selling for over $2,000, which if you look at what they were selling for, which I don't think this goes back that far, they were selling in the low thousands. So it's still selling for pretty high amounts, which is why it's still, the set is continuing to perform, also the sealed product. Now, moving on to the sealed product, which is what I want to show you guys here, there is not much left on the market. And it's crazy to say for a set that's literally 2 years old, but there's not much. So they haven't yet hit $400. I mean, there's been a sale or a few sales for 400, but there's a few listings here that are under 400. But I guess some people have decided to buy from other sellers because technically, I mean, if it's selling for 400 here, I mean, you can then argue it's worth 400, but lowest listed still is not on $400 yet. Yeah, but if you look here, you can see there's one listing here. This only has 3 sales, which is probably why people have maybe been avoiding buying from this person. But it's at 370, like, what is it? 373. This is at 386. This is at 387. This is at basically 400, and this is basically 400. If you look at how many boxes there are, like, there's not that many, and these people obviously they're not like gold star sellers or anything. But you can see it's basically at 400. I mean, you can take into consideration the sales. I mean, this is at pretty much 400. This is basically a $400 box at this point. And when you look at this, right, go to the second page. You see here, it goes to 460. Now, projecting this far ahead is kind of hard because when they hit these new price points, more people will list. But on this page, there's all these boxes that are in like the mid 400s, but you can see that's it. After that, things go crazy. So there's really not that many boxes. I mean, if you count the total amount of boxes here, I mean, we could do like a rough count here. There's like 15 boxes on this page, 20, 30, maybe 35, 40, and then here there's like 12. So what is that? I mean, there's probably about 50 to 60 boxes listed on TCG Player. Guys, that's not that much. 50 to 60 boxes. Obviously, there are like huge price differences. Like, that's a huge thing to take into account. But that's not much listed. And the biggest thing is on eBay, which really goes to show how scarce these boxes are. Because right now, like it showed you, you can't buy some of these boxes for a little bit under 400. But look at eBay. It's a very different story. You basically have to pay over 400 on eBay to even buy these boxes. It's pretty ridiculous, and there's not even that many listed. But first, we can see here on TCG Player, if you want to buy a case of these, which I believe this is actually the cheapest listing compared to even eBay, the case is going for $2,700. Now, if you do the math on that, that's $450 per booster box. So there's like a, $50 to $70 premium per box for a Paldea Evolved. That's pretty crazy, but you can see that's what they're going for on TCG Player. That's lowest listed, and on eBay, I'm pretty sure they're selling for more than that. So this is, I think, cheaper than eBay. But here's the main thing I wanted to show you guys. Because, yeah, TCG Player can have just a few boxes, whatever, but eBay is another huge marketplace you have to look at. Now, we're not going to, pay attention to some of these scam things like from Pakistan, but I want to show you guys, there's not many boxes listed. On this whole one page is basically all of the Paldea Evolved booster boxes listed on eBay, and there's not many, and they're all way above TCG Player. You can see here, 450, 450, 425. There's one here for like 400 flat. Case here for 3,300. Box here for 400. This one's on bid. This one's on bid. This one's on bid. This is on bid. There's not many. You can see once these bids end, they're not going to be here, right? 400. There's only one here. 700. Another bid. You can see there's a lot of bids going on. 400, 450, 417, 440, 450, 440. You can see there's really no deals here. 417, 410, 510. We keep scrolling, and we're basically done here. I mean, 430, 460, 600, 455, 415, 420. This is from Cyprus. And you can just see when I scroll down, there's nothing here. And this is the end of the page, 440. I went to the next page. There's like no listings. There's 0 booster box listings on the next page. That's it, guys. That's all the booster boxes listed on eBay and TCG Player. And when you think about this box, obviously the Magikarp has been performing extremely well, and seemingly this set isn't going to get printed into the ground. Guys, this is showing some very early signs that this is going to be a very expensive booster box. And honestly, considering all factors, this may probably be the first booster box in Scarlet and Violet to hit $1,000. And I don't sound that crazy saying that, I believe, because think about it. What are the other sets earlier on that even have a chance to compete with Paldea Evolved? We're talking about main sets here for booster boxes. None of them. Scarlet and Violet base doesn't have a chance. Obsidian Flames, I believe, has 0 chance, right? There's like no value in that set. Paradox Rift has no chance. It's like an okay set, right? Temporal, it's another like okay set, right? Doesn't have a chance. Twilight Twilight is a newer set, right? It's 300 bucks, so maybe that one. But you look at sales volume, it's not as strong. So there's that. That's probably the biggest, I think, competition to Paldea Evolved. Stellar Crown has no chance. Surging Sparks, I don't think has a chance. It recently got reprinted. It's in the low 200s, mid 200s. I don't think it has a chance because it's probably gonna get reprinted more. Journeys Together, no chance. Destin's way too new, right? You take all these sets into consideration. Paldea Evolved, seemingly with the age it's already had multiple reprints. This will probably be the first booster box at $1,000 here. And honestly, if this Pokemon market continues the way it is and continues to be strong for at least another year, I might sound crazy, but maybe in a year or two, this will hit $1,000. I know I sound ridiculous, but there's literally no supply in the market. It's pretty extreme that this set, think about it, it's only 2 years old. Imagine when this was like 4 years old in 2 years. If there's no major reprints, which I believe there's not going to be for Paldea, even if they do a third reprint, it's probably going to be minuscule. Guys, there's not much here. So I'm just going to say it, right? I said it when this was $300, right? And I sort of say the same thing when Evolving Skies booster boxes were $700, when they were $1,000, and now they're $2,000, right? Paldea Evolved, it is expensive. It's the most expensive booster box by far, by over $100, right? Because the next most expensive is Twilight Masquerade at like $280. Paldea Evolved most likely won't get printed in the ground. If they do another reprint, I doubt it's going to really change the price. Therefore, by these early signs I'm seeing here, very little supply in the market for Paldea Evolved. The Magikarp strength, I know the PSA 10s are right now a little bit inflated, right? But shows Magikarp, very popular. One of them, if not the most iconic IRs in this era. This is going to be a top performing set. I remember talking about this in my top 5 predictions for the near future. Paldea Evolved being like one of, if not the most, I guess, best performing main sets. I truly believe that. We're seeing signs of it with the sealed product, with the booster box. And I'm going to say it. If you do not have a Paldea Evolved booster box, you should probably buy some. I'm not going to say to go all in, right? Because that chance that they get reprinted, maybe prices do drop. But most likely, the supply is probably not going to do much, the reprint. But $400, it is expensive. It's only 2 years old. I agree. But guess what? It has the Magikarp. And I think that's the biggest thing that matters in the set. And I just don't see this really, going down much in the near future. And there's no supply in the market. If there was a lot at 400, some maybe on eBay for mid 300s, I wouldn't be making this video, right? But you guys saw it. All the supply in the market. eBay and TCG Player. Those are the places where you see the market for Pokemon, right? And there's not much. Cases on eBay for Paldea Evolved are almost non-existent. The one I just showed you guys was $3,300. Lowest listed on TCG Player is $2,700. So obviously, want to buy a case, go on TCG Player, but you're already paying like a $50 to $70 premium on each booster box. If a case has that premium or that much of a premium this early on, that's a huge sign of scarcity. So, like I said, I'm going to say it. If you do not have one, I'd probably buy at least a couple, right? Because it is expensive. I get it. At that point, if you're spending $400, it could be argued to go back to, Sword and Shield, right? That might be a good argument. But Paldea Evolved from this era seemingly is going to be one of, if not the best performing main sets of this era. So I just want to show you guys the supply in this market for Paldea Evolved. It's extremely low, and I'm happy. I have a little bit over a case worth of these. It's not much, but it's something. And that is one of the things that I wish I would have bought, some of or more of when these were in the low 200s is Paldea Evolved, because obviously it's showing some big signs of being a huge performer. But yeah, it's already getting pretty expensive, and I already have, my, small amount. I wish I would have bought more at a lower price. It is what it is. At least have some. But for you guys out there to have zero, I'm telling you, I sound crazy. Give it a year or two. I could see these, if they don't get printed to the ground, which I don't think is going to happen, I could see these being $1,000 if this Pokemon market continues to be strong. So that's all I want to say here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think about Paldea Evolved. Do you think this is going to be the best performing booster box of this era, or do you think some booster box is going to catch up? But at least for now in the near future, it seems like this is the standalone. This is pulling away, and it's performing extremely strong. So that's all I have for you guys here today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.